I remember getting out of a relationship thinking, I don't even know who I am anymore. I had spent so many years and so many relationships kind of downplaying some of the aspects that I thought were less lovable about myself and really upplaying and even like gaining some things that I thought was what guys wanted, the things that would make somebody fall in love with you and want to stay with you. And I had done that for so many years that I kind of lost myself and who I was and who I wanted to be. Has that ever happened to you? Are you maybe in a point in your life where you're thinking, I don't even know who I am anymore. What do I even want out of this life anymore? Or the things about yourself that you're going, who would ever want to love me for that? Hi, and welcome to our newest episode of the podcast, Reclaim Your Power as a Highly Sensitive Person, an HSP. And in this episode, I'm going to give you 2 secrets about losing yourself and finding yourself again. Because let's just lead with one of the secrets, right? I really believe that throughout your life, you're going to go through different stages of losing yourself, right? I'm going through one right now. My 44th birthday is next week. And I am so excited because I love these 11 numbers, right? Anytime I look on the clock and it's 11:11 or 3:33 or 4:44, I'm like, oh, make a wish. I even got my kiddo into it, right? But this is like such a significant year for me, and especially thinking of my 33rd birthday and having just moved to Los Angeles and thinking that I was starting this incredible chapter of my life. Like now my life can begin, right? I moved in with my guy and moved to California. I'm by the beach where I always wanted to be. This is going to be the best year of my life. And it turned out to be the most challenging year of my life. And so now I'm determined. I'm like, no, 44 is going to be just amazing. I have gained so many new skills. I know so much more. I've known myself so much better than ever before. And yet, these last 2 weeks, I have been in deep contemplation about who am I, right? My life seems a lot more settled than it has in a long time. I actually moved in together with my current boyfriend last August, right? With my kiddo, with his 2 kiddos, making all that work. So in a way, my life is much more settled and at ease and at peace. And yet there are still so many things that I want. And yet there's such like inner, I don't want to say turmoil because it's not turmoil, but almost that little bit of feeling of lost. Like, what's next, right? So much as highly sensitives, we want that stability, that routine, that knowing that our bases are set, knowing what to expect. And in a way, I very much want that, right? Even with just the kids, when we have all the kids versus when we only have some of the kids. Every time that changes from week to week, I'm like, whew, gotta get used to this again, right? Embracing that change. And yet, we also get bored if things are same. What is my big new growth? What is my big new aha? What is my big thing that I can deeply connect to and deeply research or process or grow with and from? So I wonder what kind of stage you are in your life right now. Are you maybe at a point where you feel a bit lost, or where you feel like I need a big change? I don't really like who I am or how my life is going at the moment, or I'm just bored and I need something new, or I've tried to be or do something new and I kind of haven't succeeded yet, and I really want this new thing, but I don't know how to get there. Right? Anytime we're kind of swimming in this field of, well, it feels like a big ocean with nothing to hold on to, and yet you kind of know where you want to go, right? Oh, maybe I attached that message from my animal cards where it's like, I feel this distant shore calling me. It's calling me, right? But you don't quite know how far it is or how to really get there. Well, we'll be talking about it today, right? The 2 secrets about getting lost, about losing yourself and then finding yourself again. What do you do in these times of your life when you're feeling kind of lost, when you're feeling a bit shaken up with yourself? And why is it so important, right? I began telling you that story of I felt so lost. I didn't even know who I am anymore. Or right now, I went through a couple of days and I feel like this is one of the hardest things for me. And tell me in the comments if it is for you as well. I love that feeling of deep inspiration, of passion, of something I'm passionate about, something I'm looking forward to, something that's pulling me, creativity, passion, inspiration. And the last few days I felt really flat. And I was like, oh, I want that zest. Where is my zest? Where is my inspiration? Just kind of finding back, right? It's like, what's going on? What is that impending shift? I have that birthday coming up that I'm almost feeling myself like backpedaling. Not because I don't want to get older, but because I wanted to be at a more significant part of my life. When I turn that significant number, right, that 44, I really want to enjoy my 44. Granted, I tell myself, oh, the whole year I'm going to be 44. So there's a lot of year, right? 365 days that I get to enjoy being 44. So there's a lot to live. Where am I now? Where do I want to be? So let's backpedal just a little bit with this really important question. And I hope you always have your journal out, or I'll definitely write these important journaling prompts in the show notes below in the description so you'll have them. But this would be a really good journaling prompt. What masks have you put on over the last months or years? And for whom or for what? Has it been for a significant other? Has it been for a good friend? Has it been for a parent who you thought you needed to be a particular person for? Has it been for getting a career that you've been wanting your entire life? What is it that you've been putting on masks for? I found this such an important question, especially when we're talking about high sensitivity, because we have a tendency to put on these masks to seem, quote unquote, more normal, like the rest of society, right? Remember, 15 to 20% of us are highly sensitive in society. That means 80 to 85% are not. Not that there's a huge difference. I'm always saying everybody experiences sort of what we experience too as highly sensitives. We just experience it more quickly, right? We get overstimulated. Our threshold is much lower than some other people in order to get overstimulated, especially in some people have a very thick skin. But also, we feel things way more intensely, right? Wow, we feel feelings so deeply. We feel our own thoughts so deeply. We feel our bodily sensations so deeply. What have you felt like you've had to hide from your coworkers, from your boss, from your significant other, from your parent, from whoever your friends, whoever you're around? Have there been certain aspects of your personality that you thought would be not so well received? I'll give you a couple of mine, right? One of my big things was really that volatility of emotions, right? The three big things that we usually get identified with as highly sensitives is that people say we're too sensitive, we're too emotional, and we're too intense. And particularly the last two were like always super true of me. I would feel so emotional. And then, especially the people that you kind of feel comfortable letting loose around, like your sisters, your mom, they would kind of get the full brunt of your emotion, or your kid, right? That's why like mom rage is such a thing, right? You feel comfortable enough in front of your kid, and I still notice it as much as I work on myself when I don't pay attention during the day, and all of a sudden I get to that overwhelm, overstimulation, which by the way is very interesting because it's not like a gathering, and then it's too much. Like you could feel it build a little bit, but a lot of times it's a threshold that is reached, and all of a sudden you snap to the opposite, right? So it's like that's what I'm feeling like. I got it, I got it, I got it, I'm good, I'm good, I'm good. And all of a sudden it's like, boom, I am not good. Yes, that's our nervous system is wired as highly sensitive. So all of a sudden that threshold is hit, boom, we snap into the opposite. Good thing to be aware of that. So that was one of my big things, that volatility of emotions. And I felt that around family. I feel it with my kid. I feel it with my partner, right? I've become so much better at knowing myself, understanding myself, knowing what I need in the moment. I'm able to communicate what I need in the moment. My partner gets to know me, right? The more you're able to show those sides of you, even the sides that are more challenging, that you might think are not so lovable, your partner gets to know you and understands better what you need. And see, here's the thing. If you always show people exactly what they want to see and never show your sides that are a bit more challenging, maybe a bit harder to love, although remember, as highly sensitives, we have plenty of amazing qualities like the intensity. Gosh, when we're excited, when we're passionate, when we're happy, when we're inspired, when we're in love, that intensity is fabulous. So people love us for that, and they can learn to love us for the bottom of the wave as well, right? Woo. But it all comes down to you accepting yourself for who you are, you understanding why you are the way you are, how you truly are, and then what it really means to show, especially a significant other, those sides of you that you find a bit more challenging. Because what is the other side of the token? If you always decide, right? I had plenty of relationships where I kept all that under wraps. It only came out when I was alone. It only came out in my journaling, and never shared that with my partner, except for maybe heated arguments. And then all of a sudden they're like, where did that come from? When you don't ever show yourself from that side, and then you actually manage to feel that love from your partner, you always feel like a fraud. You feel like, well, he fell in love with that version of me, that mask that I put on for him, but he doesn't truly love me, because this core thing that is so unlovable about me, that I feel like is a really deep part of me, he's never even seen, but somehow we're sure that it's not lovable, right? So it is so worth it to identify these masks, right? Is this something that's serving me? Sure, they might serve you really well in the workplace. I don't say let go of all your filters, all your masks. Be aware of your masks. Put them on consciously and decide who you can let your guard down with, right? And the biggest thing, really, even if you choose to wear your mask with a lot of people, the biggest thing is for you to know and understand and deeply accept and love who you are. So how do we get back around to that? How do we re-identify who am I? Especially if you're in one of these phases in your life where you're thinking, I've put so many masks on, I've played this good girl, I've played these good parts of myself for so long, I don't even know who I am anymore, or I'm afraid to find out who I am, because what if that's really a despicable being, right? When we get into being overstimulated and all of a sudden realize, oh my gosh, I used to be super empathetic. Now I don't give a crap about anyone, and I don't want to see anybody. I don't want to talk to anybody, right? When we get super overstimulated, you're like, I want to be on a planet all by myself. I said that once, and my kid heard me, right? I was like, I just want to be on an island all by myself. And he was like, and without your friends? Aren't you going to be alone, Mom? Lonely. It was so cute. But in that moment of overstimulation, you're just like, everything and everybody needs to get away from me. That's why I feel like it's so important that you understand, if you are a highly sensitive person, and where you stand on that wide spectrum of high sensitivity, and what you need in order to deeply accept yourself. And if you know somebody who needs to hear this, who might be a highly sensitive, send them to my podcast, send them to understanding, send them to the different material of hey, I think you might be highly sensitive. send them this episode and they're like, oh, maybe that resonates a little bit. So let's come back around. What are the masks that we have put on? What have I done, right? For so long, I always thought of myself as so boring, right? I didn't really want to go out a lot. I'm an introvert on top of being a highly sensitive. I'm also a Pisces, which like makes me a total dreamer. I'd rather lay in my hammock and read a book or journal about something, write something, right? Go for a walk by myself usually. Then go out to a club or a loud place or do something with people, especially since my job is already so social that I speak with a lot of individuals during the day that I really need that quiet time for me again. But before knowing that I'm a highly sensitive, I always pushed myself into more social, right? Being more outgoing, going out, or I would pretend to be, right? I would lie about where I was. Oh, yeah, I went out. Oh, yeah, we did this. Oh, yeah, I had so much fun with my friends over the weekend because I didn't want to seem so boring. So, oh, yeah, I'm a homebody. Oh, yeah, I don't go and do these fun things. Oh, yeah, I'm not really much for roller coasters, right? It's like now I'm like, yeah, I don't really like roller coasters. Going to Six Flags sounds absolutely horrible to me, right? But that took many years to understand who I am and what I want. Also, jumping out of my airplane does not sound great to me. I know there are even some highly sensitives, probably the high sensation seeking, highly sensitive people who love jumping out of an airplane. Part of me thinks that that could be exhilarating. The other part of me thinks I have plenty of other things that are like really resonating with my being. I don't need to go do that. But that is the important thing of what we're talking about, right? Can you come back to what nourishes your soul? What makes your heart sing? What makes you feel like a little girl who just wants to dance around because she's feeling so incredibly happy and fulfilled? What is it that just, makes you want to get out of bed in the morning? I feel like when we get into this grind of life, we kind of lose that beauty, that zest for life, that like, that feeling of feeling deeply connected with life. And we can easily get there, especially if you have kiddos, because we give so much to our kiddos, which is beautiful, but can also feel incredibly draining. How do we find back to ourselves? Well, I would say the first step to do when you're finding yourself in this position in your life where you feel like you've lost yourself, you've lost your passion, you don't truly, you can't connect to the depth of who you are in this moment in your time, in your life, what can you do? The first thing that I always try to do is try to be curious of it, accepting of the position that I'm in my life, and then curious. Because what do we do instead usually? We beat ourselves up, right? We're like, oh, can't believe it. I don't want to be in this. I don't want to feel lost. I don't want to feel these emotions of just like not being inspired, not feeling creative. I feel like I'm stuck, or I feel like I'm in an ocean, just like treading water, hanging on for dear life and can't really see any land in sight. I don't know who I am. Be curious. Can you reach that place in yourself where you can be like, this is a good space? Because from here, everything is possible, right? From here, I can decide not really who I am, well, who I really am, and who I really want to be. That is the second secret, right, that I wanted to give you today. The first one is that you're always going to go through these different stages in your life where you feel like you've lost yourself, or you want to reinvent yourself, or you don't even know who you are anymore. And the second secret to that is you get to reinvent yourself whenever you want to. How much of your personality, of who you truly are, of your soul essence is set, and how much can you choose? That was a huge aha for me when I kind of got around to this feeling of like, I am not fixed, especially not as this ego personality that's right here in this body, in this world, in this life. I am not fixed. I am very fluid. I'm very movable. I do believe my highly sensitive traits are, I would say, more fixed, right? But that's more like a vessel that my essence flows through, right? So it's sure, it might have some curves, some ups and downs, but it doesn't decide who I am. I decide what I do with that, right? I decide. Wow. So I would say step number one, right? Write down. Well, no. Step number one, be curious. Be curious and say, what a glorious place I'm in this moment. I get to completely reinvent myself because nothing is set. Everything is fluid. Number two, who do I want to be? So take a piece of paper and write down, who am I? Write down all the things that you think you are. What do you believe about yourself? What do you really like about yourself? What do others like about you? Do you like that about you? What do you not like about you? What do the things that you don't like about yourself cost you, right? Like running late 5 to 10 minutes every time you got to be somewhere. Is that an aspect you don't like about yourself? Why do you think it happens? And what do you think it costs you? And then to figure out more about yourself, what I like to do is write my bliss list and my bucket list, right? My bliss list is like small little things that truly make me happy. And when you write these down, hopefully in a place where you can find it again, I keep everything in my notes app on my phone. If I then look up bliss list the next time and I'm in one of these spaces where I feel like I've lost myself, when I look that up and I find these little notes, I'm like, oh yeah, I do like riding horses. I do love going for walks in nature and hearing the wind gently rustle through the treetops, right? I do love watching the sun set, especially when I'm sitting on a beach hearing the ocean waves. These little things kind of bring you back around to just like the basis, to like the essence of who you are. Your bucket list is kind of the bigger version of that, right? What do you want to do that are like grand things, big things? Like for me, I've never galloped on the beach. I've never ridden a horse on the beach. I so want to do that one day. I've never been to Hawaii. I'd really love to go to Hawaii with my sweetie. What is on your bucket list? Those big things, right? I want to learn a little language. I want to learn how to ballroom dance, especially the tango, right? What are big things on your list that you really want to learn about? The other thing I've started to do, because I love YouTube, it's my favorite platform because there's so many things on YouTube about anything and everything, which is part of the reason why I'm putting my videos on YouTube as well, to contribute to this grand library of things, of experiences, of knowledge, of fun things, of inspirations, of creativity. If you just start searching for different things, when you're feeling flat, when you're feeling uninspired, when you're feeling like you've lost yourself, when you're feeling like, I don't even know what brings me joy anymore, if you just start searching, and then instead of like getting too deep into one video, I just add them to my watch later list, right? I have like hundreds of videos in my watch later list. But all of a sudden I feel that pull of like, oh, this interests me and that interests me and that interests me. And then you're shifting your vibration to come back around to understanding, who am I, right? And then come back around to like writing these things on your list, either on your bucket list. Ooh, I want to do that one day. Or on your bliss list, small little things that you could do on any given day. What is it that reconnects you to yourself? Those are kind of the basics about who am I? How can I get back to myself? How can I deeply connect to myself again? And then, yes, the second part of that journaling exercise would be, who do I want to be, right? Obviously, you're at this big point of growth Otherwise, you wouldn't be feeling how you're feeling, right? Derek Rydell gave us such a beautiful metaphor, such a beautiful image of the acorn cracking open, right? For the acorn, it feels like it's exploding. It feels like everything it knows is about to go away. Everything that was so safe and cozy in this shell is just decimated. And yet, it has to crack open in order for the shoot to come out, in order for this plant to grow into a tree. So this is where you are in this stage of where you feel like you've lost yourself. You're at another big point in your life where everything is exploding, and it might feel like you're just sitting in a big pile of rubble. Rejoice. This is your whole new stage of growth. This is where you get to rebuild from the ground up anything that you desire to do or be or have. Such a powerful moment. I always remind myself of that, even if I'm feeling a bit overwhelmed in that moment. It's like, oh, this is a good thing. This is a good thing. Who do I want to be in this next phase of my life? What skills do I want to take with me? What skills do I want to learn or hone? What characteristics, right? I always thought you had to be born with it, right? Ooh, she's just a good marketer. He's just really good in business. Or this guy is just really good with money. Or wow, this person is just an amazing writer and I wasn't born like that. You don't have to be born like that. You can learn and acquire just about anything with passion, with repetition, with desire, with daily input of it, right? If you really, really want to do something, acquire a skill, hone a skill, you can get there. So decide, who do I want to be in this next phase of life? Who do I feel like I need to be in order to get what I truly desire in life? And how can I then tie that in, right? I feel like if you tie that in with passion, with excitement, then you're always already connected to yourself, to your soul, to the essence, the truth of who you are. So yeah, what do you want in this next phase of your life, and why do you want it? Do you truly want it for yourself? Do you just want it in order to be loved because you feel like you're not, or you can't be loved for who you are now? Or is it something that you truly feel like curious about, excited about, will fulfill you on all kinds of levels because it is the essence of who you are? Ask yourself these questions. And then remember, you're not really actually lost. You're really just exploring another part of you. That has always helped me so much when I feel like I'm traipsing around in a dark room, just desperately trying to find the light switch because everything feels so foreign and I have no idea where I am. And then I remember Bashar, channeled by Daryl Anka, saying, you don't ever have to be afraid of the unknown, because the unknown is always just more of who you actually are, right? It's another aspect of yourself. Just like this new thing, this big change, this new thing, it's just another aspect of who you are. So you can actually never truly lose yourself. You just lost your connection. The sun just disappeared behind a cloud for a moment, right? You just can't see or feel your connection in the moment. That's when you come around to that bliss list, to that bucket list, to those quick little journaling prompts of, yes, this is who I really am. Thank you so much for being here today, for contemplating these things with me. That is always the fun part for me, right? Just contemplating these questions, getting a journaling prompt. Tell me, do you journal? I love to journal. It has brought me so much clarity over the years, and here and there I share a bit of my journaling because it resonates so deeply and has brought me back to connection with myself so many times. And that's when I come up with these different tools, or I try tools that I've found somewhere else and kind of make them my own. And how do I incorporate this in order to learn more about myself? And I love sharing these with you. I love kind of adding my little piece to this vast knowledge and experience that we have here on earth. So thank you for being here. Thank you for doing your part. Invite a friend, send them this episode. Let me know what you loved about it. Make sure you subscribe so you'll get our next episode. I'll be journaling some more about my 44th birthday coming up next week. And I'm sure I'll be posting a great next episode next week. So subscribe, don't miss it, and I'll see you then. Oh, and if you're still there, I have a little bonus for you, right? One of the big things about being highly sensitive, I talked about these volatile emotions. Well, I've put together a guide of 3 quick steps how to shift out of any undesired emotion. Wow, has that helped me a lot, especially in love relationships, of coming back around to what I want to feel rather than what I'm feeling. So if you're curious how I did it in 3 quick steps, go download this guide at healingyouraemotions.com/shift, and it's all yours. Keep being your amazing, unique, highly sensitive self.